Today, it gives me immense pleasure to bring to you a session on current affairs. So, as all the participants are already aware of the session, as described in the enrichment session, I would like to take it forward. So, I would like to just read out the rules and regulation one so that we again have a clear picture. Every speaker has to be well prepared with his or her content. Reading the write up will not be allowed. The time limit will be 2 to 3 minutes. A question will be asked from each participant in relation to his or her topic after his or her presentation. As displayed in the enrichment session, also, we gave you an example. The participants will be marked on how they answer the question asked, apart from other criterion like confidence, content, presentation, and body language. So that were the rules and regulations. With that, I would like to start with our first age category, that is 11 to 13 years. So first up in that category, we have Parumita. And Parumita will be speaking on the following topic. I'll just read out the topic, Parumita. Or would you like to introduce your topic yourself?
I'll introduce it.
Okay, all the best, Parumita.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Parvita, and today I'm going to talk about the current affair, the G20 summit, and India stand for climate change. So, first of all, what is G20? The G20 or the Group of 20 is basically an international platform for central governors
What is the topic?
and governments.
Yes, sir. Requesting all to mute yourself, requesting everybody to mute yourself. Yeah, Paramita, go ahead.
The G20 or the Group of 20 is basically an international platform or forum for the central governors and the government from 19 countries and EU. After the November 11th Games Summit, the G20 Summit has been held annually. Now, recently in 2020, on 21 to 22 November, the G20 Riyadh Summit was scheduled to take place in Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia, but due to COVID-19 pandemic, it was held virtually. The theme of the summit was realizing opportunity of 21st century for all and addressing the vulnerabilities. So now, by the way, the members of G20 are Australia, Argentina, Brazil, China, Canada, France, Germany, Mexico, Russia, South Africa, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, United Kingdom, United States, and the European Union. Now, anyway, back to I was talking about the vulnerabilities. So one of them is the climate change. On that, the India or we expected the GHG emissions in 2020 will be lower, 6 to 10% lower than 2019. But to our surprise, in 2020, the level of emission target was reduced compared to the estimate before pandemic, and which is a good thing as well. And thank
Very well done, Paromita. With that, I would like to move on to your question. So I'll just display it on screen now. So Paromita, your question is who hosted this year's summit, or rather, I should put it as who hosts this year's virtual summit, the G20 summit.
Saudi Arabia, as it was scheduled to take place in Riyadh. This opportunity was given to the Saudi Arabia Riyadh place. I don't realize the name right now, but the country is
No, you're totally correct. You're entirely correct. It was scheduled to happen physically in Riyadh, but then it happened virtually, and Saudi Arabia hosted the summit. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, Paromita. With that, I would like to move on to the feedbacks by the judges.
Welcome.
Tripta ma'am and Nishi ma'am.
I would request Tripta ma'am to go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tripta ma'am.
I'm trying to join actually.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Mr. May I
Ma'am,
know
the-
whether the answer that she gave, was it correct?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it was
Yes,
totally
ma'am. It's
correct. Yeah.
100% correct answer.
Because I think it is in the beginning we are settling down and it takes time to settle, I think.
Yes, ma'am.
The content which I have listened to her, I think it was up to mark
Yes, ma'am.
and well presented. I think in a very precise and concise manner, she has uh, told everything about it, right from the beginning to end. I think the facts are quite right that she has prepared in her own original content, it seemed, and the delivery of the content was also, I think, up to the mark. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you,
Yes.
Tripta ma'am. Thank you very much, Paramita.
Go to
With
next
that,
one.
we'll wait for Nishi ma'am to join. Till then, should we move on to our next
Yes,
participant?
yes. Go to next participant.
Okay, so our next participant
Yes.
is.
I'm just joining.
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
ma'am, we'll wait, ma'am.
So before I join, I would say that this today, I think Paramita was in her element, and it
Yes,
was lovely to see her back in the element, and she has done her homework properly.
yes.
So very well done, Paramita. Keep this spirit going.
Well done. Well done, Paramita. Very good.
Thank you, Nishi ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
So with that, I would like to move on to our next participant. So next up, we have Tej Nanda, and he'll be speaking on the topic: government bans 43 more Chinese apps, citing national security, sovereignty, and integrity. So Tej, can you please have your video on? Yeah, all the best.
Thank you. So my topic is government bans 43 more Chinese apps citing national security, sovereignty, and integrity. So Indian government bans 43 more Chinese apps due to security and sovereignty issues. This all started when the Indian government banned 59 Chinese apps in June, as tension with China increased following the deaths of 20 Indian soldiers by Chinese soldiers. Then the Indian government bans 118 more Chinese apps, including the famous app PUBG Mobile, in September due to integrity issues. And now, in November, India banned 43 more apps and said them prejudicial. This means that till November 2020, 220 Chinese apps have been banned. If we analyze, our government did the right thing by not tolerating this unethical act of Republic of China. This step of our government of banning Chinese apps has given a clear message to the world that the new India will not support any country who tries to mess with the national security, sovereignty, and integrity. I would say that this unity of not using any Chinese apps all over India is the right way to pay tribute to the 20 Indian soldiers who got martyred in June 2020. I would highly suggest that everyone in this meeting should not use anything related to China, and as Modi ji said, let's become Atmanirbhar. This is the opportunity for all Indian companies to come forward and make useful apps which can be used by everyone and which in turn will contribute to the economy and make them famous too. With all that the government has done, hopefully these 20 souls rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Tej. I would like to move on to your question next. So, Tej, your question is: which ministry issued the order for blocking access to the 43 apps? We've all heard in newspapers that it was done by the government of India, but which ministry in specific? So, Tej, I would like you to answer the question.
MEITY. MEITY.
Okay, so can you elaborate on the full form of the ministry if you are aware of that?
It's Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology.
Okay,
All correctly.
correct. That's correct, Tej. So with that, I would like to move on to the feedbacks by our judges. So Nishi ma'am and Tripta ma'am.
So very confident
child, I would say, in terms of speaking. And it seemed that his preparation was from his own point of view. He has gathered information and he's put his soul into speaking. So it appeared to be very age appropriate, and it felt that it was a very natural way of speaking and telling the adults that what exactly we should not do. So I'm very impressed, and he's confident. Only I think a little uh, somewhere or the other some pronunciation wavered. Otherwise, I would say very well done. And he's answered the question also. He's tried. So what Manish sir is trying to do with the children, I think they are going ahead with that, and well prepared presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
That will be all, I think, Tripta ma'am.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Nishi ma'am.
Yeah.
Tripta ma'am.
I agree, Nishi ma'am, because what I have observed this time, that there is somewhere, the enrichment session by Manish sir are helping the students to stay in tune with the kind of presentation we are expecting. And as ma'am, you said that it was really very appropriate, and he has answered the question also. But I think today I myself also observed minutely that in the earlier sessions we are asking these students to stand and present themselves. So there is one thing we can see how far he is from the gadget, and from his eyeball movements I think I should not take that wrong impression whether he was reading his content. But the the balance of expression, the clarity of expression, and somewhere Tej, I suggest that there is one element, or I must say there is one feature of the language, that you have to put some stress on some word. जैसे हम कहते हैं कि हमने कुछ कोई वर्ड हम खा गए, यानी it's somewhere missing that gap कि the words are not reaching that properly, though you are delivering it in a very appropriate manner, in the sense that no word is missed by you, but when it is received by me as a person, I was feeling that there was some missing mark I could observe, because it is from the screen that I could clearly see this time. Maybe I told you that sometimes diversions are at bay, and I'm not able to concentrate in the beginning, right in the beginning. So this is my observation, that I suggest the improvement areas, that the spoken part, which I had not, I must say that have seen, that where he lacks is that the word clarity, somewhere the stress was not there, the appropriate emphasis or stress was not there.
Uh, Thank you, Tripta ma'am, for
Thank you,
bringing
Tripta ma'am.
this to notice, because see, we are the older generation and we are not very conversant with the technology. And slowly we are also using it, and we are also getting the nitty gritty. Initially, even I had to speak in some places, and what now I do is that keep the mobile and the content in front of me, so that the less movement is there, eye movement is there, and it appears that I'm speaking from my memory. So very good suggestion you have brought this up, that we should all now actually have the children speaking from far, standing and speaking, because we do not, I mean, for the final, now I think next week is the final, they will have to speak away from the gadget, stand and speak, because we want a thorough, as we have put the guidelines also, that they should be reading, not reading the content, they should be memorizing and speaking, because that is what the skill is actually. So thank you for bringing this up. In the initial episodes also, I did try to bring this up, because it appeared that children were reading. But yes, we were not so confident with technology. But now, as we are conversant, I feel that this is being done. I don't know, not with all, but at least with some, or at least there is some help. So here we are polishing you, we are trying, we are giving time to you. So we should become real winners rather than smart winners.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah, Nishtha, go ahead.
Thank you, Nishi ma'am. Thank you, Tripta ma'am. We will definitely take your concerns into consideration. We will surely ensure that all participants inculcate this in the enrichment session.
One thing, Nishtha, I would like to add that in the earlier sessions, appreciated Tej. Tej, are you listening to me? That I appreciated his confidence, his clarity, which Nishi ma'am also has put an emphasis. I think it should not be. I would not even take like that. It is to be taken in a wrong manner. Maybe if the child is not doing, still the impression should not come. So he has to be away from the gadget while standing, or the body language can be observed more minutely.
Yeah, we would not cloud our judgment. We would not like to cloud our judgment by this
Yes.
apprehension. So, in order to give real judgment and the effort that is being made by the platform, we would request. It is not that we are alligating, and it is nowadays considered to be very smart. So that is why I use the term. Let
Yes.
us be real rather than smart. So
Yes. Thank you.
that is where.
Okay. Yeah, Nishtha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Nishi
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you, Tripta ma'am. With that, I would like to move on to our third participant. It is Vaibhavi Shivain, and she'll be speaking on the topic a substitute to plastic. So, Vaibhavi, the stage is all yours. All the best.
Yes, thank you. So, good afternoon to one and all present over here. This is me, Vabhavi, and here I am to give a small speech on the topic of substitute for plastic. So, firstly, I'd like to start with the plastic pollution. So, plastic pollution is an accumulation of plastic objects and particles like plastic bags, bottles, and microbeads that adversely affect our wildlife habitat and humans. Plastic, plastic ranges in the humans are very high, and plastic pollutions are categorized into three parts: micro, meso, and macro debris. So moving on to the substitute for plastic. So in some areas, there have been a significant to reduce the prominence of free ranges plastic by litter cleaning and recycling the plastic. So now moving on to the examples. In railways, you must have seen many people selling the Bisleri bottles, and same in the airport. So what they can do, they can sell glass bottles, steel bottles, and now in the vegetable shops, they now used to sell also the polythene bags. So what we can do, we can carry our own paper bag, cloth bag, jute bag, anything, and same thing in the mall. So now I like to end up my speech over here. Thank you so much.
So, questions now, I believe.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vaibhavi. Now I'll just display a question. So, your question is, what, according to you, are two disadvantages of substituting plastic? So, I'll just elaborate on question a bit. What, according to you, will be, not good in terms of if we substitute the plastic?
Um, so according to me, the two disadvantages of substituting plastic would be many people used to sell in railways the same Bisleri bottles, and for there are two types of plastic: recyclable plastic and non-recyclable plastic. So in the non-recyclable plastic, we mostly take the parties in which paper plates are there, so they can't be recycled. So that would be one disadvantage, and the second would be that the the plastic bags, the polythene bags in the vegetable shops, they used to sell that in substituting that would be paper bags. Many children used to craft many things, so that can be also by carrying many weights. They used to take still the polythene bags and keep in that paper bag or jute bag. So one substituting will be that also for me.
Yeah, very, very well done, Vaibhavi. You pointed out some very intrinsic points. If that could be a disadvantage if we substitute plastic. So, with that, I would like to move on to our judges.
So Vaibhavi has done her homework well, and she has spoken well as she has answered her questions also well. So in terms of speaking, I would say that Vaibhavi should hear herself speak more, because there are places where there are some words where pronunciation is a little, you need to work on those pronunciation, like vegetable, then debris, or whatever you said, it is debris, and then vegetable. So these are some pronunciations when you actually speak aloud and you try to hear yourself, then you improve upon your speaking, because then when you hear yourself actually, when you do that action of hearing, then it comes to you. You have to be conscious that how others people are speaking, and then improve upon your pronunciation. That is the only drawback I find in your this thing. But otherwise, in terms of homework, in terms of diligence, in terms of listening to uh, whatever has been told about how to improve upon, you are doing very, very well. And I find you a very sincere contender.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Nishi ma'am. Tripta ma'am.
Very well observed, Nishi ma'am, that these things are, can I just take a second, please? Somebody is knocking.
So Vaibhavi is doing actually very well, and something which impresses all of us is her diligence and hard work that she is putting every time, and her sincerity in terms of attending all sessions. I believe she has the maximum attendance so far amongst all the contestants. So
Yes,
that
yes, ma'am.
also adds a feather to her cap, because that shows her that she is managing her things very well. I just added some filler, ma'am. You can carry on, Pari.
Yeah, yeah. So it was a very minute observation about Webhavi. What I appreciate in her is the enthusiasm. So when you speak something enthusiastically, it is reflected and it is so well received and appreciated by the listeners also. And I agree, Nishi ma'am, that even when I was listening to Webvi, I was again stressed upon that some of the words, why the pauses are there, it is a scientific study of this language, that without pauses it goes, in some other direction. And the kind of observations we put in, and Webvi, I ensure you that with every session you are improving, and it will really go a long way. The way grooming is being done here, and you people are working upon it in such a positive and constructive manner. So the stress that I'm talking about, or the pauses that I'm talking about, they should be very appropriate, because when we are speaking, we don't observe ourselves. It is the listeners who observe us. It is somebody who our audience would see to us that where we are lacking or where we need some improvement. And improvement definitely comes when these things are pointed out. So all things put together in such a well manner, as Nishi ma'am has told about the topic and the way you present, it is really appreciable. Enthusiasm is the one thing which I would wanted to highlight this time where we knew.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Anishtha.
Tripta ma'am. With that, I would like to move on to our fourth participant today and the last in this age category. So next up, we have Arman, and he will be speaking on the topic the disparate conditions underlying the Bihar and the US elections. So Arman, you have a wide topic. I hope you do justice to it. So all the best.
So, good afternoon, everyone. This is Aman speaking before you all, and speaking before you all on my concern topic, that is the desperate conditions underlying the Bihar and the US elections. Uh, As we all know that 2020 has been a very summarizing and a very sad and desperate year for all of us due to a virus known as COVID-19. We all have suffered a lot, either it be in going out or voting for voting polls, etc. Everybody has a fear inside them, uh, of standing in a line of thousands and lakhs of people, uh, just for voting and choosing the right government. Think this year, more or less people have been out for going out for voting, but to my amaze, Bihar is one of the bravest and the strongest states who has come out in a very nice manner according to the voting area. In Bihar, the elections were held in total three phases. The first phase was for 71 seats on 28th October, I suppose, and the second election was for 94 seats on 3rd November, and the third phase was for 71 seats on 7th November. So, in total, there were 243 seats, and to make a right judgment, the people of Bihar, the total number of votes that have been uh, voted to make the government are 1 crore 16 lakh. Do you imagine such a vast quantity have been out of their house to vote and to choose the right government? In that 1 crore 15 lakh, 1 crore 12 lakh were male, and whereas 1 crore 3 lakh were female. Uh, uh, Now talking about the results, in total, taking about 243 seats, 125 seats were taken by the National Democratic Alliance or NDA, and 110 seats were taken by the Mahagathbandhan, and leftover 8 seats were taken by other independent parties. At last, the seats after the results were announced, Mr. Nitish Kumar was announced as the Chief Minister of Bihar, and later on, uh, Vijay Kumar Sinha was announced as the new Speaker of the Bihar Legislative Assembly. Talking about the US election results have been out for over 1 month, and as we all know, USA, who has came out to be a very nice and a very uh, mm, he's a very enrolling person. His new slogan is "Now the real America is here." Talking about Donald Trump defeat, major reasons were number one, as he had promised the Republicans of America that he would do a lot of things after he succeeded Barack Obama. Uh, Number two, he also has put a lot of allegations, wrong statement, as well as offensive statements on the on the new president of USA, that is Joe Biden. All this added up into a very aggressive kind of condition by the Republicans of America, and they voted Joe Biden as the next president. So this is all what I needed to say. Thank you and have a nice day.
That was a very good research work, Arman. Bravo. With that, I would like to move on to the feed. Sorry, I missed your question. Okay, so your question is, Arman, which parties came in power in Bihar and US respectively?
Uh, so in Bihar, the party was NDA, National Democratic Alliance, whose leader is Nitish Kumar, and in USA, I think Democratic something kind of, currently leader is Joe Biden.
Okay, that's very accurate, Arman. NDA came into power in Bihar, and Mr. Nitish Kumar from JDU became the chief minister, and in US it was the Democratic Party. So Arman, you accurately answered your question. So with that, I would now like to proceed to our judges, Tripta ma'am and Nishi ma'am.
I would, I think I would first of all either applaud by this reaction, or we should put in a hand for Arman. It was like a news travel, or travel to as a I what should I say? I'm in loss of words. It was like experiencing that news capsule was being presented very coherently and very nicely uh, captured pertinent things were pointed out, and very well presented. So it can only come when you have done your work, or you are in a natural habit of reading the newspaper every day, or catching up with the news. So I would say that maybe your speaking needs a little polish, but your content was amazing, and it swayed me off my feet, and congratulations for that. I think Arman, you are. I need to say that I think your active GK and active GK is excellent, and you are working on it. And I don't know in future, but I think I can see you as one of the one very successful candidate in the administrative service, the way you are going in terms of working on your active vocabulary. So congratulations, and a little flair in terms of speaking you should work on, because some pronunciation and pauses, intonations you need to work. That means you have your content now, you have to put it with a style. That is what you have.
Thank you, Nishi ma'am. Tripta ma'am, would you like to say something to Arman?
I would precisely agree with the Nishi ma'am in the first place, and at the same time, I compliment, and it's commendable that the topic chosen was something related to Bihar. I was pondering over that what comparison is given in such a way. There is one very positive point about Arman, that this kind of role modelship I wanted to present, that he's always in a geared up look. As I see Paramita and Arman, they're working on this, that they make sure that they are away from the gadget. They convince the audience like us that they are doing their original presentation. And if I say that Arman, if we talk about place known as Bihar, where people would opine that there is too much of poverty that prevails, but country has got most of the IAS officers from this state only. And I was listening to one lady, that is Kamala, I think Kamala Harris, from US, and it's a little bit which from my own knowledge, working GK knowledge, not putting much insight upon this. How I got to know that the Tamil Nadu is the one place where the victory of Kamala Harris was celebrated. So it is a matter of pride for us that we are comparing these two countries, about two places where elections are taking place. One is Bihar, and then we are talking about USA. And the justification, Arman, you have done is worth commendable. So, as Madam has said, that this personality grooming, that you should behave like Shatrughan Sinha when you're standing with confidence, and start visualizing yourself that you are a hero, you are are an actor, you are very well appreciated person. That I told you that you are very diligent in your presentations. And Nishi ma'am, I am 200% agree. Whenever I think of Team You Can Also, I think it is such a platform which is grooming the children, as earlier one of our judges talked about, कि ये बच्चे एक दिन देश को चलाएंगे. So this platform, I can visualize that you can also provide that they are grooming up to that extent with their GK, with their personality, and with their accent, with their presentation. This is all I want to say.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yanista. Thank you, ma'am. Yanista.
Thank you, Tripta ma'am. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Nishi ma'am. With that, I would like to move on to our next age category, that is 14 to 16 years. And from that age category, first up we have Saksham Kalra. Saksham, can you please have your video on? And Saksham's topic is Nota in India, a fruitless alternative. All the best, Saksham.
Good afternoon to all. No, government is perfect. Not all your choices are right or give 100% guarantee, but does not mean that we stop making choices. On that note, I would like to tell you all that Nota means that none of the above has been provided as an option to the voters of India in most elections since 2009 by expressing a preference for none of the above. A citizen choices not to vote for any candidate who are considered the election. The vote does not hold any electron value even if a major of votes are cast. The con- conduct with the largest vote shared with the shared to declare the winner. The Nota option was first used in 2013 Assembly electing held in 4 states and the Union Territory of India. यार कॉल आ रहा है.
Yeah, Saksham, continue, please.
Election held in 4 states and the Union Territory of Delhi. Since in the inauguration, Nota has gained increasing popularity amongst the Indian electorate. Nota enables the voter to show their in in absent in in absent in absent for the field candidates. I would ask you all that you all are studying, right? So you have two options in front of you, CBSE and ICSE, and you also have freedom of expression. But tell me, if you do not find any of them effects, do you have the option of Nota? No, right? Because at the end of the day you have the choice to complete your education. So likewise we cannot leave our country without any government. Surely choices can be where but choosing Nota surely says that you have a freedom of choice, but it does not give us the solution. India is a vast country. People have different opinion, and it impossible to satisfy all. A government gets more effects and better with time. Expression is itself experience in itself teacher. So, in my suggestion, Nota is not a fruitful choice because it does not give us any solution, just only says that the opinion are not good enough. So, instead, choosing a better opinion and question them, protesting when you feel something is wrong. The freedom of the expression will help the country and government to grow. Life is about making choices. even if it's not the best choice, we, we, tell, we still make it because we all have the power to change, modify it, and make it best.
Very well done, Saksham. A round of applause for you. You spoke very well. So,
I think I should be speaking before you put the question. I am thoroughly impressed. I think the
Yes,
three
ma'am.
idiot bow that we need to give to you today, because the way you have structured your speech today, that is amazing. Right from the very starting of the speech, that you said that no government is perfect, and it is the entire speech is moving towards a very well constructed structure. So that is very well. And I was floored by your question that CBSE and ICSE, mind blowing, thoroughly impressed, and salute to you for your speech that you have prepared today. Very well,
Thank you, ma'am.
very well done. Now your question, beta.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, before I put forward the question, I believe that most of you would agree with me that seeing Saksham, we have partially achieved what we are here to achieve at You Can Also.
Yes.
So it's in making, and we hope Saksham will become a very good orator in future.
Yes.
Saksham, you have
So
done
with that,
wonders today. Kudos to you, and I salute you. Very well. You have literally floored us today. Literally floored us today.
Understood.
thank you,
Thank
Nishi
you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Uh, so Saksham, your question is on screen. Your question is, when did the Nota option come into being in India?
2009.
Very correct.
Okay, well tried, Saksham. You are partially correct. I'll just give you the entire information. The Nota option was proposed by the Congress government in 2009, but the Supreme Court just okayed the proposal in 2013. So, year 2013 was the first time that the Nota option was introduced onto the EVM. So, with that, now I would like to move on to the feedbacks by our judges, Tripta ma'am and Nishi ma'am.
Ma'am has already given feedback, so over to Tripta ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah, Tripta ma'am.
I think all my words are spoken by Nishi ma'am.
पूछे नहीं हैं,
Saksham's
ठीक।
presence is itself so
क्या बोलिए?
positive that we do wish that he becomes a very good orator in the future times to come. And Saksham, one more thing to say, I am also bowled over by the kind of new perspective that you have put in, that we don't have any option when we are asked to choose for CBSE or ICSE. And Nota is a revolution, no doubt, but it does not offer solution. There is one thing which can be explored and worked upon, and the kind of in-depth preparation, as if you have put in-depth preparation and in-depth hard work you have put in. It was very visible from the face of Manish sir that it is not the participant who comes out who is towards the victory edge, but every time the wonderful presentation which comes forward, Manish sir is equally, he gives an expression as if he is a winner. No doubt, Manish sir, congratulations to you also. And Saksham is really a gem coming forward through and through. Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
thank you. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And now, Nishi ma'am, I've already given the feedback.
I would say exemplary performance today. Exemplary.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
so moving to the next participants. Now we have Manas, and Manas' topic is the future of electric vehicles in India.
Good
Over
morning,
to
everyone.
Manas.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Manas, and today I'm going to deliver a speech about future of electronic vehicles in India. India's automotive future looks electric. The coming decade is expected to be a decade of fully electronic cars. With battery prices reportedly falling to 73% since 2010, it is expected that uh, the electronic vehicles will become more cheap than, or will become as cheap as their fuel powered car or fuel efficient cars. The International Energy Agency says that by 2022, 20 million electronic vehicles will ply the Indian roads, a number which is expected to increase to 70 million by 2025. India has also a lot of gain from the electronic vehicles, such as, or basically in the economic front, the electronic vehicle project helped save India 60 billion US dollars, like which India uses on its oil imports. Basically, nowadays, India, like 82% of India's oil demands are fulfilled by imports. Like the India pays 60 billion, and when we talk about electronic vehicles, we do not use fuel or oil. If we if we talk about them, then India, like if we use them, so we wouldn't require any fuel, and hence India will, we have to import less fuel from the outside world or the another countries, and hence it will prevent, or it will help India to save its money. Moreover, or secondly, I can say that the electricity as a fuel will decrease, or the price of it will decrease up to 1.1 rupees per kilometer, which will help the electronic vehicle owners to save up to 20,000 INR or 20,000 rupees per 5,000 kilometer transfers. Moreover, the electrification will help save the environment, as the electrical energy or electrical cars do not emit any soot particles or carbon dioxide, which is harmful for the environment, as the petrol efficient, or the cars which run from oil or fuel emitted. And hence I can say that we are in a stage where we have to hit two targets at one with one arrow. So in this case, we have one arrow which can be electrification, basically electronic cars, and both of the target, one is business protocols or the GDP, etc., and one is the environment. And with that, or with the electronic vehicles, we can hit both of the target. And hence I can say this is the best resource, or this is the best man-made thing which we have today. So that was all. I hope you'll all like the speech. Thank you for being a patient listener. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Manas. Well articulated. And so now I'm sharing the question for you.
Okay, sir.
Is it visible? Is it visible? Give two names or the brands of the electric vehicles running in India. Are you able to see the question on the screen?
No, sir. See.
Okay. Yes. Now it's visible, no?
Yes, sir. It is visible now.
Yes.
So the two, one is Mahindra Motors. Another, I guess, I'm not sure about it, is Maruti.
Okay. Yes, you are right. Maruti has also introduced electric vehicles, and Mahindra is the first company in India. So good. So over to Nishi ma'am and Tripta ma'am for the feedback. Yeah, Nishi ma'am.
Yeah. So very well done, Manas. I believe what I would say was that your topic was a little dry, but still you managed to speak about it, and whatever you spoke actually drew our attention, and we did pay attention. There was flow, and you have like every time you are working on what content you have to speak. So from that point of view, I don't think there is any issue. Somewhere or the other, I feel that a little more, if children will start reading and putting some devices like idioms, phrases, and other things, if you start reading and start practicing in your speaking, I think more fluency and more you'll be more articulate in terms of speaking your content. Like you mentioned, killing two things with one arrow. Generally, it is killing two birds with with one stone. So when you speak, what you read and what you have um, practiced in terms of, when you're conscious of these devices, then and you have interest in these devices, then naturally what happens, your content and your flair for speaking and your articulation improves. So that is only that is one point that I would just want to make for you. Otherwise, I think you were good.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'll take care of it.
So thank you.
Yeah, and Tripta ma'am.
I think Manas is flawless, and this kind of body movement I was expecting. We have seen him sitting and speaking, but his eye movements were so perfect that he is actually giving us the impression that he's away from the gadget, and the fluency and the ideas that were flowing, they really make him a natural speaker. As Nishi ma'am has said, that in order to add beauty to your piece of presentation, idioms and phrases can be added. That not only adds to the beauty, but it gives an effective, or it becomes impactful. And being conscious, I think the natural flow takes place. But the further step which we suggest you, Manas, that beautification of the language is need of the hour, and the speaker should have such vocabulary and such things they can be enriched by adding these idioms and phrases. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll look into it the next time
Thank
I
you.
speak.
So now moving to now we have Nishtha Kalra. Nishtha, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Nishtha. Yeah, and you know your topic. Your topic is Love Jihad, a complex facets of interreligious marriage in India.
Yes, sir. Am
Over
I
to Nishtha. Yes,
visible and
Nishtha, you
audible?
are audible and visible both. Yeah, Nishtha, go ahead.
Okay, sir. So shall I start?
Yes, yes, Nishtha.
Okay. Good afternoon to all. My topic for today is love jihad. प्यार तो दिल से किया जाता है, फिर तो मुझे ये बताओ कि मजहब बीच में क्यों आता है? अगर अल्लाह को नहीं मानूं तो क्या, अगर अल्लाह को नहीं राम को मानूं तो क्या प्यार कम हो जाएगा? ये प्यार नहीं अपने मजहब को दिया हुआ तोहफा है, और यहाँ मुझे लगा कि तुम्हारे लिए एक तोहफा हूँ. Love is a beautiful feeling that we all experience in our time at some point of time. Love is seen to be boundless, limitless, unconditional. It is selfless. Love never sees your color, gender, caste, or religion. It is pure. People like us make it toxic. Love jihad, in simple terms, is a theory alleging that Muslim men target women belonging to non-Muslim communities for conversion to Islam by fingering love. Although our government is making a lot of strict laws against it, because forcing someone to change your religion is a violation under Act 15, Right to Liberty. The article says that no person shall be deprived of his life, his personal liberty, nor shall any person be denied equality before law. The UP government Tuesday approved the article Vidhi Viruddh Dharmatman Bill 2020, or the Provisional Unlawful Conversion Bill 2020, that seeks to bar forceful religious conversions, including marriages. The culprit will be sentenced for 5 to 6 years for this crime. If someone wants to convert their religion after marriage, they have to submit an application to the district magistrate 2 years in advance, 2 months in advance. Now, the other states are also following this kind of rules. And at first, it was introduced by the Uttarakhand Chief Minister Trivendra Singh Rawat in 2018. I want you all to think how difficult it is for the person who is going through, just because he or she loved a person from another religion, he or she has to forget their own. Is this fair or ethical? I would like to share an incident with you where a bright young girl was shot black and was shot point blank because she refused a Muslim man and didn't want to marry him. This is just one of the cases. These kind of cases happen every single day. Did she do something wrong? Is freedom of speech only left till books and sayings? Keep the law behind and think that how these kind of people manipulate others. First, they play with your feelings and then they use you to increase the followers of Islam. We should respect one's person's choice. Loving your religion is not a problem, but forcing others to love it is. Because for us, our religion is our identity, and love never changes our identity. It enhances it and respects it. They use all kind of tactics like manipulation, physical abuse, mental abuse, and whatnot. Love is blind indeed, but now it is time to open our eyes. दिल से प्यार नहीं अब दिमाग से होता है. ये कोई शतरंज के खेल की तरह है जहां या तो तुम्हारा प्यार खोता है या तुम्हारा मजहब. Thank you.
Thank you, Nishtha. Thank you. It was well researched and presented. So over to Nishi ma'am and Trita ma'am for the feedback.
So I would, so first of all, in fact, compliment the team to choose such topic, because what we feel is that such issues, until unless we bring it on the anvil, and we do not bring it forward, and we do not discuss about it, and we do not sensitize people about it, these issues will be issues without any solution. So very well done, first of all, in terms of choice, and in terms of presentation, the very combination of the languages, it made your presentation very apt and beautiful, because somewhere or the other, the mother tongue definitely adds to the beauty of what we say and what we present, and helps us to connect and understand things in the right perspective, should we say, or even the articulation of both the languages. I believe if you are able to do in a term of a presentation, that itself merits certain appreciation. So that was very well done, and I would say that it was very well articulated with sensitive questions, and also your thought process is in the right direction. So very well done, I would say. Very well presented and well researched. And you added your point of view, which added the which actually added the beauty to the whole affair.
Thank you, ma'am.
And Nishtha, your question is just, am I audible, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, just hold. Your question is, the name of the governor of UP. She recently okayed the bill against forced conversion with Ahmed Love Jihad Rao.
Yogi Adityanath, sir.
I'm asking about the name of the governor of UP. She
Governor
recently,
of UP.
yes.
So
You are partly
I
correct.
don't.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's I think.
Okay. Okay. No issues. Yeah. Tripta ma'am.
I think slightly I would back to disagree with Nishi ma'am. I could guess that Nishtha's eyeball movements and the way actively otherwise she was presenting in earlier sessions, that was somewhere it was missing. I know the chosen topic and the justice that she has done. Sometimes we prepare our well-researched content, and when we present it, I think had I been in her place, and I would have confessed, or I would have emphasized into saying that whether the gadget was helping her or not. So there I had some miss that I got this impression, but I don't know whether I'm right or wrong or how much I'm correct about it. The impression that I got was this kind, that there was something, some lesser of the preparation in
Ma'am,
presenting the
actually,
content
I'm
that
on my
I could
laptop,
perceive.
so the ping was coming again and again to update. So I have to cross it all the time. So it was creating a problem.
Yeah. So,
So it's fine, Nishtha.
And
Yeah.
I usually also move my eyeballs around because I need to rethink that what was I supposed to speak. That is why.
I know, Nishtha. I found Manas was also, today I don't know why it has all the, attracted me towards this movement, especially that I guess that at times it is better to present than to absent oneself. But I think the honest disposition in this regard that you have made, I agree with you. And congratulations for a well presented topic and the content.
Thank you,
and
ma'am.
yeah, thank you, ma'am, Nishi ma'am and Tripta ma'am. And Anandi Ben Patel is the governor of UP. She
Okay.
okayed the bills, and you are partly correct that Yogi Adityanath is the chief minister. So thank you very much, Nishtha. So now we have
Thank you, sir.
yeah. So now we have Om Nanda, and Om, your topic is, if it was not the SR case, would the drug mafia in Mumbai is unveiled any time soon?
So, am I audible?
Manish sir, stop sharing the screen. Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So, growing up, we were taught something. God may not have given extraordinary talents to everyone, but He has given 2 hands, 2 feet, and in general, all the other 5 senses to everyone. No one can take that away from you. These were the basic things taught to us. And just a second. I'll just take a second to regroup. Sorry. And so with these things, we should work hard, hustle, and scale phenomenal heights. With this vision in mind and high hopes, Sushant Singh Rajput, an outsider, stepped into the glass world of Bollywood industry. Little did he know that his staggering feats accomplished as an actor would be hollowed out so soon. Unfortunately, the death of the veteran actor was linked to a scandal involving drug mafia and its active cells in the Bollywood industry. So, as for the main plot of my speech, if it wasn't for SSR's case, would the drug mafia of Mumbai be unveiled soon? The answer stands at no, it would not happen. I mean, think about it. There have been instances where the almighty muggles of the Bollywood industry have been linked with the term drugs. But uh, all these whistleblowers, all the rumors, all the reports were silenced. So this was the first time that so much national attention was received on a similar case. Why? Because all of us knew that Mr. Rajput's mysterious death was unsettling in nature. This is also for the first time that the Narcotics Control Bureau was actively involved in this process. They investigated the case thoroughly and proved that drugs are an indelible part of Bollywood industry. uh, Various names of drug peddlers came out, and even the so-called high and mighty, super talented celebrities of the Bollywood industry were not spared, as evidences emerged linking them to this cascade controversy. So I would just like to conclude by saying whatever happened to Mr. Rajput was indeed tragic. It was unfortunate, and his demise was truly disheartening. But the after effects that followed were unsettling, and they are just not acceptable. Let's hope that the investigating authorities get to the bottom of all this and they put in efforts to stop all these disingenuous activities. I would also like to request that let's stop the game of mudslinging, as it would mean a direct disrespect to the late actor's legacy. Let's hope that justice prevails. Thank you. That's me.
Thank you, Tej. And here is your questions. Who is the Director General of Narcotics Control Board of India?
It is It is Rajiv Kumar Shukla, I suppose.
Yeah. It's a Rakesh Asthana. He's an IPS officer.
Okay.
And he's the Director General of National Narcotic Control Board. So over to
sorry to interrupt, but wasn't he in charge in the for 2016 term?
Come again?
Wasn't he in charge of the organization for the 2016 term?
Yes. He is the current chief.
Okay.
He is the current chief, right?
Okay.
So we are asking the current chief. Okay.
Thank you so much.
So over to Nishi ma'am and Tripta ma'am for the feedback on his speech.
First, I think Tripta ma'am can go first. She has to leave.
Yeah,
Tripta ma'am.
Manish sir, I wanted to head for my, I think,
yes, ma'am. You have already.
Working place also, because examination starts exactly at 1:30.
Yes, ma'am. You can go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
You just give the feedback of Tej, and then you can leave now.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am.
It was a very speedy, I think, the delivery of the content. The confidence was oozing out as far Om is concerned. And the topic that is he has deliberated upon, that media presents the content in such a manner, we actually are not able to make out whether, we can, you see, what is the truth, whether it is the drug mafia which is responsible for his death. Truth is not visible, not reflected through the media. It gets lost. So I think he has done justice to his content delivery, the pronunciation, the fluency, that is really up to the mark. So I congratulate Om for this. Thank you. One request, Manish sir, that if I'm leaving right now, I'll get the video afterwards.
Yes, sure, ma'am. Sure, we'll
because
send
it is,
you.
I think, thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for your presence.
Thank you, ma'am. We missed you in the last episode.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I have to rush, and otherwise I could spend 5 to 10 minutes, but I don't want to take risk.
No issue.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Examination duty. Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay, now for Om, I would like to say that yes, you were very articulate in terms of speaking, and you have a very natural style which you use. And despite the fact that we've been talking all this while, right, not being very close to the gadget and all these things, but you are close to the gadget, and still with your gestures and the way you are managing your speaking, it appears that you are honest and you are doing justice to what your content is. So and very articulate about it. In fact, this is again, I would compliment the UCAN also team for choosing this particular topic, because this is now a very, very raging topic, and how media trials are trials are happening, and how the verbal or visual diarrhea that we are exposed to, and the WhatsApp messages that we are getting. Technology certainly is here to confuse us, and here to affect our decisions, and also to cloud our judgment, in the sense that so much of verbosity is there all around us, that we really do not know. There are different media houses, there are different channels which take different stands, sometimes what we feel is just for the sake of being different, they take up different angles. So when we are exposed to all these things, it is actually very, very difficult. So Tej, Om, you have brought about this whole thing very beautifully. Only one thing I would just say, that you are wearing a hoodie. I take myself to be very honest, and whatever I feel, I feel from heart, and I want to tell to the participant that see, give some kind of official or formal this thing to the whole episode. Why? Because see, we are preparing you not for informal speaking, we are preparing you for formal speaking. And all these things, very small things, as I said in earlier in the sessions also, we are from the old schools, but despite being from the old school, the old school things still run or hold very high esteem among people. People do notice your thank you, do people do notice please, may I, and all these things if you are blessed with. And also people do appreciate your formal approach to if you are supposed to give a kind of a presentation or speech. So just a small effort if you can take. Of course, you are looking very, very comfortable, very well prepared for the entire thing. But this might just help.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. This feedback you have given to Manas also
Yeah.
in previous sessions. And thank you very much, ma'am. And thanks to Om for a nice presentation and nice research work. So our compliments to you. So now we are moving to the next participants, and next participant is Shrestha Singh, and Shrestha's topic is Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, a mere slogan. So over to Shrestha.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Shall I start?
Yes.
Dr. Rajendra, the national propounder of the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao Abhiyan, launched the program in 2015, about 5 years ago. The scheme aims to address the critical issue of declining child sex ratio and ensuring the survival and protection of the girl child. We live in the 21st century, and be it the urban society or the rural population, we are all well aware of how important women are to the society. Nishi ma'am, are you saying something?
You go ahead, Shrestha.
Okay,
Shrestha, you go ahead.
We live in the 21st century, and be it the rural society, be it the urban society or the rural population, we are all well aware of how important women are to the society. After all, the slogan has been on the tip of our tongues for the past 5 years. In my very first speech, I expressed how ending things at the right moment is better than trying to mend them forever. My opinion here remains unchanged. No doubt the initiative taken by the government has brought a significant change, but it's time we stepped ahead. In spite of the government slogan, approximately 40,000 women are raped per annum, irrespective of their age, from a 2-year-old toddler to a 60-year-old granny. On an average, 100 women are raped per day. The slogan that once helped in spreading awareness has now become the means of stating that women are creatures that are supposed to be saved. These slogans like these single-handedly showcase how women are weaker than men and put emphasis on the superiority of men. One of the saying even goes, when you educate men, you educate a man, but when you educate women, you educate a generation. Considering this, people mean that men are not part of our generation, or that men do not have the ability to represent one. How long till we realize that women or girls per se are equally sufficient as men are? Why do we still manifest women as if they are weak, as if they are fragile, and not give them equal opportunities? Why do we still expect men to respect women even when the same is not reciprocated? In my opinion, whatever is written on the skull cannot be erased. But the least we can do is try and achieve an egalitarian society which would create a concrete establishment for development, where women are given equal opportunities and men are treated with equal respect and humbleness, and a mutual understanding prevails. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrestha. With that, I would like to move on to Nishi ma'am.
No, just share his question.
Yes, sir. I'll just do that. Okay, so Shrestha, your question is, Under which ministry does the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme come?
The Beti Bachao Beti Padhao scheme comes under two ministries: uh, uh, Women and Child Development, Welfare and Family Welfare of Health and Family, and Human Resource Development.
Thank you, Shrestha. That was an accurate answer. So, with that, I would like to move on to Nishi ma'am now. Nishi ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it done? Can you hear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
So I would say very well done, Shrestha. Very articulate and very pertinent speech that you have made. And you have collected a lot of facts and figures, and you have even attempted your question, which is right. One thing, your flair, of course, is there in terms of speaking, so there is no point asserting that. One thing which I think which can just add on to your speech is that um, there is never there is no substitute of a smile, right? And your smile, actually, when you smile and you put your expression, facial expressions into what you're speaking, certainly adds a lot of warmth in the warmth and feelings in the whole speech, which also appears to be eye-catching and also appears to be interesting for a listener, because you are not listening to yourself, you are not even seeing yourself. We are seeing you and we are listening to you. So when we are listening and looking at you, we also want you to connect with us. This is a virtual media, but still the connection can be made. And these are few things which actually makes you a better speaker and somebody who is well received. And you have a very nonchalant attitude, and when you feel that your speaking is very natural and you do not have any hesitation in speaking, so somewhere or the other it comes as if that I'm doing my job and well, here it is, rather than somewhere something warm should come from you, and that warmth should come in a form of a smile. So that will add a lot of radiance in your speech. That is one small thing that I wanted to say.
Thank you, Nishi ma'am.
If you
Very
take
well
it
done,
with a pinch
Shrestha.
of salt.
Yes,
So I
ma'am.
think that brings us to the end of the presentation. All participants have presented their part. So Nishi ma'am, would you like to give some concluding remarks to all our participants?
Yeah, I would do that. So today, I believe it was a very well, very well orchestrated program, and I think even the participants have. I am very happy with not one but entire whole gamut of participants who spoke today. All of them have done brilliantly. So I would say that keeping the last episode's learnings and objectives, when we became very clear, I think we have worked wonders, and the students have, the participants have also worked wonders, and thoroughly satisfying presentation, right from Paramita to Tej to and today I believe in the entire session, or the second 2.0 that we are into, I think today everybody gave their very best. So I'm very, very happy today. I will take this happiness home, and I will also nurture it, and also it will also increase my expectation also. Please be very sure of it for my final finale. So so nobody should go down from what they have done today. Rather, they should put a little extra of whatever is there in them. And these are little things which I have pointed this just now. Otherwise, everybody can speak, everybody can work, and everybody has worked, and there is a palpable change in everyone. So the now when the macro thing is worked upon, we work on the micro, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of usage of this things. So
You are
let
right.
us look into the micro details now and improve whatever we have done so far.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And one more
I
thing,
hope
madam.
my economics is not wrong.
Yes, yes, you are right, madam. And just after last session feedback which you have given to all the participants and to the organizers, we have discussed everything to our participants, and we are also very much happy that every participants have worked on it, and because of that we are having the 100% attendance today, right?
Mm.
So, and
Saksham's presentations, and
yes,
I think though I cannot differentiate at
yes,
all in
yes,
anybody's
yes,
presentation. Everybody has superb presentation today.
yes,
But
yes,
if I am supposed to take out, I would say Saksham and Arman,
yes, yes,
and rest everyone, each
everybody,
one of you have
yes,
done wonders
yes,
today. So you
yes,
should be very happy and
yes.
work a little more than this for the final.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nishi ma'am. I hope the participants would be glad to have heard such good things from you this time. And you know, they have really worked hard. And in the enrichment session also, they were very vigilant to adapt to the benefits and the feedbacks that we were giving
I
them.
can see that, and thumbs up for to all of you. I give this thumbs up, and this is a I'm very happy. So this is a heart that I give, and today we need to celebrate.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Nishi ma'am. So the topics for the final session, we will just discuss it with Nishi ma'am right now, and then all of you will get it by evening today. So you will be intimated about the next session. So with that, it gives me immense pleasure to bring this session to an end today. So it was
All
great fun.
participants will leave, and
Yeah,
we will continue,
yeah.
and you can
So
stop the recording.
and a special thanks to Nishi ma'am too for being here with us today, and Tripta ma'am.
Mm, thank you. It is always a pleasure. And with today's presentation, I'm very happy. I made it today.
Mr. Just stop the recording.
I request Vaivavi, Saksham, and Tej and Om to kindly leave the meeting.
Mr. Stop the recording, please.
Yeah, yes, sir.